had another talk with my mom yesterday, and like always, she's just asking me like what I'm gonna do after graduation and why haven't I applied to internships and all these different things, and like I don't really. It's just a lot of pressure. Like I don't. Like I want to know. I feel like I do. I'm supposed to know what I want to do with my life at this point. I'm graduating in a month, so I get that completely. But it's just like the constant pressure is just insane.
So your mom's program is putting you under an even amplified amount of stress.
Yeah, on top of everything else I'm doing. Like this week alone, literally, I'm on 3 hours of sleep a night, worried about everything else I'm doing, and then like I'm proud of what I'm doing. Like I love that I'm in my sorority and it has me so busy and occupied, and I'm doing things that I love, but then she makes me feel bad about that. And she's like, oh, all this for the hermanas, right? Like I hope it's all worth it in the end. And I think it's like she's trying to say, like, you're not getting paid for this. So what's the payback? Is that it's like she's asking, and it's just like it's a feeling, I can't explain it to you.
So your mom's questioning, it feels as though she's invalidating the work that you're doing with your sorority.
Yeah. She doesn't see the point in it, honestly, sometimes. Like, she's like, oh, it's something to put on your resume now. But she feels like I go above and beyond what maybe most people do. Maybe I'm doing too much. Maybe I don't have to be doing everything that I'm doing.
And what does all the work you do with your sorority give you?
Like, I genuinely feel good about it. Like, after we have a successful event, like, we talk about it, and I feel successful, and our events are meaningful. They're not like some of these things you can't get. It's like, oh, let's go make ice cream sundaes. We don't do things like that, really. It's like real substance events. Like, last night we had an event about literacy. We have it every year, but we tweak it every time. So we were talking about literacy and, like, dyslexia and different things like that. And it's things that people don't really know about. So, and we showed, like, bits and pieces of a documentary about it's like a Cuba literacy campaign. And people were like, wow, we didn't even know that happened. So it's like, that is an accomplishment to me. I can't write that on a resume. I don't need to tell the world about it, but I know that I did something and that I impacted somebody.
So there's this real sense of pride and fulfillment that you get from the work that you're doing.
Exactly.
Yeah. And at the same time, there's the pride on one side, and then there's also this anger towards your mother for not getting that it is worthwhile, even though it can't be quantified.
Exactly. And it's like, she just doesn't see it. I'm excited to graduate, but then I'm also like terrified, because what I want, I know that there's so many people that struggle to find jobs, even with a college degree. And it's like, I don't want to get stuck doing something and be miserable every day. So I want to find something that I know I'm going to enjoy. And maybe that's not going to happen right off the bat. I understand. Maybe that's just asking for too much. But, like, I don't want to settle either. Like, I did put in 4 good years of work here, not to just settle doing, like, randomly something. And I know I don't want to go home. Like, we live in Pennsylvania, and there's nothing for me. Nothing there for, like, a young, single person. I'll work maybe, like, in retail at this point, because it'll be really hard for me to find a job doing something I would like. And then go to the bar on the weekend. Like, what is that? I don't want to do that. So I need to make it so that I can live in New York and start my life here. But I'm only willing to do that if I know I'm going to be able to support myself, because I'm not going to ask my parents to do it for me. So it's like all these different things in my head. Like, it's kind of like this big idealistic dream, and it's a matter of, like, putting it together. And I just don't know how to do it.
Yeah. And to be honest, many graduates experience that extreme pressure. And in this economy, I'm not entirely certain that anybody graduates knowing what they're going to do and having it all together.
And then, like, my mom makes it seem like everybody else has it figured out and I don't. Like, that's what she puts on me. Like, so-and-so is doing this, so-and-so is doing that, and what are you doing? And it's like, I need to do something. I totally understand that, but I'm in this area where I'm just like, I have all these different ideas. I came to school first as an undecided business major. Then I wound up looking into nursing, and I started doing nursing for like a year and a half. And then I wound up like failing for nursing is getting below a 77. So I got a 75 in one of my classes. And I was like, I'm not going to wait another year to graduate, because that would mean that I would be taking 6 years to get a 4-year degree. And I was like, I don't have money for that. I don't have time for that. Like, I can't do that. So I let that dream kind of go, and I was like, maybe in the future I'll do an accelerated program, because I know a lot of people that have done that. It's not unheard of. And then I kind of just pushed that to the wayside, and I was like, I don't know if nursing's for me anymore, so I don't want to say that that's what I'm going to do, and then I don't follow through with it, or I waste time and money. So I kind of pushed that to the wayside, and now I'm looking into different things. Maybe there's something wrong with me, because I literally have, like, hobbies, and I have these little things that I like, and now it's like, okay, how do I put it into a career? Because I know so many people, like, I went home over a break, and they're like, oh, I'm going to med school after I graduate, I'm going to law school. Like, they have it all figured out. or they just have this one hobby that they know they can make a career out of. And I'm kind of sitting here like, I like music, like I love music, love social media. I just, not the like just tweeting and doing this, but like I just find it fascinating how fast information is like passed around, and how you can like so quickly like get in contact with somebody else, and the advertising and the marketing it does for you. So like I get that. But it's like, okay, now how do I put that into a little nutshell of a job for me? Like, I don't know.
So because you have this pattern of beginning one project and moving into another, and all of these satellite interests, there's a real fear that you're going to be limited by whatever job you end up getting.
Yeah. And I just feel like I may not ever find something that satisfies those interests that I have. And like I see my dad, he has a, I don't know, like he works for Amtrak, it's like in an office, he's like a yard master. It's an interesting title, I'm not even really sure, but he doesn't really enjoy it. It's what he's been doing, it's all he's ever known. He's been there for 22 years, so he's satisfied, he's complacent with it, so to speak, but that's not the way I want to start my life. That's not the way I want to start my career, just settling for something. And then my mom has sacrificed a lot for us, like me and my brother, and she's never completely finished school. She's been taking classes here and there. She's never had a full-time job, maybe briefly before I was born, and a little bit after, but then she let it all go to raise me and then my brother. So it's like I don't want to end up like that either. Like that's not, I completely like admire her for that, and I think she's amazing for that, but I can never do that.
Can you imagine, apart from your mother's expectations of you or your father's expectations of you, can you imagine what would make you happy?
Right now, what would make me happy is finding an internship or a job that I would thoroughly enjoy. And I know that's possible. It's just about finding it. And then making a life for myself in New York. Because right now that's my like next goal.
On a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being not at all and 10 being maximum capacity, how much pressure are you feeling from your family right now?
It's a good one. Honestly, I think I can rate it at like a 7, 8, because although there's a lot of pressure, I've kind of come to a point in my life where I know how to like push it back and not pay attention to it. Maybe that's because my whole life my parents have put pressure on me in a good way just to be successful. So like even my 12 years of grade school, like I was always involved. I was always on an honor society, honor roll, always doing what I needed to do and be successful. It was kind of expected. So I don't know if that's a pressure because it's like underlying, because I just know it has to get done. But now I think that's kind of flipped a little, and I know it's a pressure because although it was expected for me to graduate, what's to come after is up to me. It's not, if that's mandated, that's the way it goes either way. It's like, you gotta figure it out for yourself. So I think it's like a 7.5, 8. Like I get under pressure sometimes, but I'm a keep it cool kind of girl, like my dad. I'm like my dad that way. And I let things kind of, like, okay, well, everything in its time, everything will happen, and everything by the wayside, kind of. Not that I don't care, I don't like to get overwhelmed. It's not, like, you don't function well that way. And I get that. I'm like, under pressure, what am I going to do? I'm going to give a half-ass effort because I'm nervous or I'm anxious or something. So who does that satisfy? Nobody. Yeah.
So while you feel that anxiety and all of the historical expectations, you're also in a really good place with separating that from who you are and your functioning and what you want.
Exactly. Like I know myself, and like I said before, like I know my goals, my short term, my long term, and I've come to a place where now it's a matter of putting things in place and lining things up to attain them. And I know I'm capable of that. It's just about, it's like a little that I need to give myself. I don't want anybody to do it for me. I need to give myself the extra to be like, okay, Ashley, you need to sit down and apply to however many internships and jobs, and you need to contact these people because your mom has made those connects for you. Like my mom knows certain people that I need to just literally take the time and sit there and say, okay, I'm going to call them, I'm going to email them, I'm going to send them my resume. Not that it's subconscious, but it's like in my head, I'm kind of like, I know I want to do it because they're great opportunities that can possibly be given to me. But I'm like, but then that really means it's time to grow up, which is really scary. So, I don't know. I literally, like, as childish as it may sound, like I wish there was like a book a book of life. Like, okay, so after you graduate college, this is the steps that need to be done. It would just be easier that way.
Yeah.
Just be so much easier.
Everybody feels like they
Oh my
didn't
God.
get the manual.
I don't know where it is. Somebody.
So you have this desire to be independent and figure out the next phase of your life by yourself.
Definitely.
And yet there's also almost this expectation that you'll follow the leads your mom has given you.
Yeah. And I don't want to rely on that. Like, I don't want it to be a crutch. So, like, I know, although she, like I said, that she may have put these things in front of me, it's my responsibility to take the next step and run with it and do what I have to do.
And what is keeping you from pursuing those things? From sitting down and writing the internship letters?
Time.
Yeah.
Time is my enemy. There's never enough time, because although my future needs to be lined up, I'm still in school, and there's still responsibilities that need to be done. We came back to school January 20-something, give or take, and literally since that Monday after, I've been doing something.
It's just been nonstop.
It's nonstop. And you gotta keep your academics up, because my academics cannot fall. I would never let that happen, but if they were to fall for my sorority, my mom would be livid. And I know that. And I'd be upset at myself, because we preach academic excellence. I can't, like, how am I gonna sit here and preach that to you? That's what I embody and that's what I show, but it's not the truth. So I keep my academics very, very high. I've been on the dean's list since I came to PSY.
There's that need to maintain standards.
Yeah.
And also the incredible fear of the unknown.
Mm-hmm. With the future.
Yeah.
The unknown. The future for me, it's not like grim, it's not like a black hole, but it's like, it's a scary thing, you don't know what's there.
It's entirely unscripted.
Mm-hmm, definitely. For me, I need to write the script.